So, Coach, workouts have been going on for about 3 weeks.
Yeah, we started, bring that over here, thank you. Right the first day of classes, some of the returning players were already cleared, but it actually took the freshmen a whole week before they got all their paperwork in for their medical stuff and got clearance. I mean, our doctors are so thorough that sometimes it takes longer. Like both Tony and Jordan had to get echoes for their hearts, and Kyle is still not cleared for contact, and that won't happen till the end of this month, and I'm hoping it'll be the 31st when we start our first practice for China. And then Shabazz was cleared and had a great practice, and at the end of the first practice sprained his ankle, came down someone's foot, and he's been out since, and hopefully he'll be back by the end of the week or early next week where he can get going again. Because we actually start practice 3 weeks from today for our trip to China.
So just a severe
high ankle
sprain.
Mm-hmm.
The dreaded high ankle sprain.
So it looks like
He's had a history though of ankle sprains, so he's going to start doing work with Leif in terms of strengthening that and making that a full-time commitment here as we look towards November to really try to strengthen both his ankles. So that's something that he's committed to doing, which is good. And he really looked good the one day he practiced. I mean, he got every offensive rebound, so I was excited about Shabazz.
And Kyle's thumb looks like it's okay. It looks like he's fine.
He's okay. It's just all precautionary. We don't want anything to happen. It's all set. The surgeon in New York who did his surgery, he's one of the top surgeons in New York, set up a whole plan. He's getting rehab right here with our rehab specialist in the training room daily, and it's going real well.
And then Anthony Stover, what's his?
His shoulder is still being rehabbed, and he still has at least another month to go before he'll have any potential for contact or anything.
So he has a chance to play in China.
I don't know that. I really can't say that.
Okay.
I would say that that's still to be determined.
Where are you at in planning the China trip? Do you have to scout the professional teams out there?
We're playing two teams that are university teams.
Oh, okay.
And then the last game, August 28th, is against Yao Ming's team, the Shanghai Sharks.
Sharks, yeah.
And a really good team. So that'll be a big challenge for us. And I'm excited because we get 10 days of practice to prepare for it. So that really helps us get a head start on putting in our defense and putting in, we're really trying to push the ball. And today you could see all of today's workout was dealing with the fast break and just running and playing fast. But then we also will get a couple other practices because we get 2 hours a week to work with our team. So we'll actually take 12 days of practice in preparation for this trip. We're going to have 5 practices from the 29th of July until August 4th, and then we'll go again the 14th through the 21st. We'll have 7 practices during that 8-day period. And then we leave at 1:40 in the morning, August 22nd, on a nonstop flight, Air China, I believe, to Beijing.
So are you doing any, I mean, you have a rep for being very well prepared for games. Are you actually going to do like a scout for those games? Are you doing pretty?
I don't know that we'll be able to scout our 2 opponents now. Hopefully we'll have something on the pro team because they'll play it on TV. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not really looking to those 2 university teams yet. We're more concerned about ourselves. And this trip's more about us than it is about who we're playing in China.
Right.
It's more about our team growing and improving and figuring out, who we are. And so that's going to be, for me, the fun part. And the 12 days of practice, I think, really helps us in preparation for November because it always seems like, we have so little time in preparation before we play our first game November 9th. You're starting practice October 12th. You have less than a month to try to put everything in that you want to do. And especially with a young team where we have 4 freshmen that are, all expected to play, some roles.
You've been assured, you looked in whether Yao's going to play?
Oh, I don't think Yao's playing. I think Yao's done. Yeah.
How much of the trip's going to be devoted to maybe the culture and sightseeing? immersing yourself.
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, I think it's a great cultural experience for our team and our players and for everybody going on the trip. You know, my wife, my daughter coming, and my two sister-in-laws, my wife's two sisters, and so, you know, it's going to be really hot and humid. They tell us anyway, it's going to be brutally hot and humid. But we're going to see the Great Wall of China. I think we're going to see the Forbidden City. There's a number of cultural things. So we're representing UCLA and the Pac-12 and the United States of America on this trip. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal for the other side as well. Becomes a yearly event for a Pac-12 team every year
Oh, is that? Okay.
to go to China and represent our conference in this same type of situation. And I'm sure it'll evolve. I'm sure that they'll do things differently as each year comes. But we're the first team to go, and so it's exciting.
Clearly, pushing the tempo is an emphasis earlier here. How much ideally do you envision seeing the team running that kind of offense?
Well, I think that we'll be good at it. I think it allows us to play more guys, and we have, in Larry and Kyle in particular, we have two very good distributors and passers, and I think the Wares are very good at running the floor, and we want to take advantage of the numbers that we have and get better at it. And so we're definitely looking to, be a team that's going to play faster and quicker.
In terms of pushing the tempo last year, was there always that thought also that, that you had to conserve guys?
We just didn't have a great depth, and so we want to take advantage of the fact that we do have, although we only have 11 guys on scholarship right now, we do have good depth, and I'm confident that, all those guys can play and contribute and be put into the game and be solid. The big thing for us will be to grow too defensively, because the freshmen, we're not, we're going to spend a lot of time at that end as well. Like you can see today, if you watch practice closely, Jordan Adams is really going to be a good player. I mean, he really shot the ball well and is a good passer, has a great feel for the game. I'm really excited about him. He becomes in as the least heralded of the four incoming freshmen. I'm telling you what, he's really going to be a good player. Really good player.
It's a barometer, how good a class is when Jordan Adams is the least heralded player.
And he's a really good player.
Where's Tony Parker in his development coming in?
Tony is a very hard worker. He's got a great attitude. Tony's got to get in a lot better condition than he's in right now. He's not in great physical condition, which is nothing out of the ordinary for a freshman coming in for the first time. He's got a lot to learn. You saw him today in the practice where he's getting up and down, but it's all new to him. He's just learning. Everything is going to be very new to him. But he's got a good motor, and he'll work real hard. I'm convinced of that.
Having these 3 weeks of summer that you've really never have had before, I mean, I know you were really pushing for this, to have this. What does this mean for the development of your team, for the players?
Well, it's just great for our team. It's good for, we're going 3 days a week, 40 minutes at a time, and Saturday will be an all-skill session where you're just working on individual shooting or whatever it is. We've been doing a lot of 5-on-5, which is a little different than what we normally do, partly because we're going to China. We're starting to prepare for 5-on-5 right now. That's how the game's played. But I'm looking forward to the practices so we can really break things down and really teach, and get a good head start, but really have an idea of trying to put in our fast break and really emphasize running, rebounding, and playing really hard. We've got to get back, Tracy, doing a better job pressuring the ball defensively. And ultimately, it's still going to come down to our best defensive players are the guys who are going to end up playing a lot of the minutes. There's no doubt about that. And the guys are in good condition. I'll say this, that of all the guys on our team right now, I would say that both the Wares are as in good a condition as anybody. And that just speaks to their year-round commitment.
How much does having 10 or 11 players change practice? You haven't had that kind of depth.
We haven't had, you're right, it makes it so much more competitive, and therefore it makes the team better. When we've really had good teams here in the past, it starts in practice with the competition for playing time, from each position. And so it'll be good.
Defensively, how key is Norman Powell? Because if Kyle Anderson might be playing point guard, you need someone to match up against.
Yeah, he's the one guard other than Larry that is, I think, equipped athletically to stay in front of a fast, quick, little lightning point guard.
What's your take on Josh's conditioning right now?
I think it's improved a lot. I thought he did a good job in the spring, as I talked about. He improved his body fat, and he's doing a good job right now. He still has a long way to go, but I think he's knows that. But you could see at times today, if you were really watching this focusing on him, there's times where he could really run the floor, and we're going to be running so much more. He's going to get in better shape. For Josh, his biggest area, in terms of his conditioning, just comes down to off the floor, his diet. And just like anybody, and I'm no different than anybody else. The biggest key to watching your weight is exercise. Is one definite important aspect, but the biggest thing is what you're putting in.
How important do you think he is to the success?
I think he's key. I think Josh is as hard a matchup as there is, and I think that now with some people around him, in other words, he's going to be more one-on-one. It's going to be hard to double team him and leave other guys open on our team. And so I think as we improve and get better, I think that he's going to be isolated quite a bit, and that's what we want. Because I don't think anybody in college game can stop Josh one-on-one in the post. It's going to be, Tony gets that joy every day to try to do, along with the Wares inside, and Stoverson. He gets healthy here this summer, but Josh is a key for us. There's no doubt.
Are you getting the feeling that he understands that?
Yeah, but you know what? He understood it last year because I told him that, but I think he's starting to embrace it. One thing that's been nice for Josh, he's moved off campus. He's now in an apartment. I don't know if anybody discussed that. He was in this. We have our guys in dorm rooms that are singles, and so they're very small. And I think it's just a much nicer situation for him now, living wise. I think it's going to be. I think he'll be much happier in terms of his living situation, which is good for him.
He said to us that he kind of had to rediscover his passion for the game. Was that ever a question for you, how much he cared about basketball?
Well, it's always come so easy to Josh. He's always been, bigger and been able to take advantage of that. Where at the college level, that is minimized quite a bit as you move up the ladder and level of play. And he went through a tough year last year. It's all documented. And so, it's interesting for you guys to tell me that he said that. I'm interested to hear that. Let me see the text, please.
I'll transcribe it. Is there a weakness or weaknesses you want to address in the summer right now?
Well, I just think that, we have good players, but we still only have 11 of them. And I'd like to have a couple more. So this is a big recruiting year for us coming up. I'm leaving today, actually, on my way to Indianapolis here in a couple hours to fly out, and then I'll be on the road for the better part of the next month. We're involved with some really good kids again, and I'm excited. Poly's getting closer and closer. It's really exciting. I was in there about 10 days ago, and like the scoreboard, it's just so nice to see a modern scoreboard in Poly Pavilion now. I think it's going to be much more fan friendly. I really, they're putting the floor in now, which is a huge process. I met the guy who puts the floor in. It's exciting. He's got the best wood you can get. That floor in Poly is so big. It's expansive. It's huge, and so it's really quite a project. And he says they're going to sand it down 6 different times. They have to sand it down, and both ways. And this guy was really into it, explaining to me what he was doing. So it's exciting what's going on in there, and really looking forward for our players and our fans to be able to enjoy Poly once again this coming season.
Is that not the same court? A new court coming in?
Oh yeah, the old court was the worst.
You said that.
Yeah,
I remember,
it was about this thick.
Yeah.
It had no give.
Dead spots.
Yeah, so this thing's gonna be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
Just in terms is for the health and welfare of our team. So,
Well, to be fair, when they built it, they had a 7-2 guy. They didn't need a lot of give on the floor.
it wasn't good for anybody's knees, trust me.
I've walked on it.
Does that Garson guy have any eligibility left? He looks pretty good at it.
Oh,
He'll give you some depth.
Okay, Coach?
are you guys aware of the passing of Kenny Hines?
No, I hadn't heard it.
Yeah, just so you guys know that, we got the, email from Linda yesterday, and I just want to extend on behalf of the UCLA basketball family how sad we are for the loss of Kenny. He was a great player and even a better person. And so I know his teammates and all Bruin fans, our hearts and prayers go out to Kenny's family during this difficult period.
Sorry to change gears, but what do you think about your two guys on Team USA? You've got Sonny and
Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Really happy for both Kevin and Russell, and very well deserved. And
Yeah.
it's exciting because basically what that says is they're two of the top 12 players in America,
Yeah.
and that's special. To have two Bruins on the Olympic team, on the dream team, is pretty special and very exciting. We had a barbecue for our players, and then a couple weeks ago, and it was fun because Kevin was there, and Luke, and Alfred, and Lorenzo, and Mustafa, and Jordan Farmar, and Josh Ship were over. So it's just fun to see those former guys. And Kevin looked great. You could tell he'd really been working hard. So he's in tip-top shape going into this thing. I think he's going to get a fair amount of playing time along with Russell, so that's exciting.
You gonna get to watch them before they go?
Pardon me?
Are you gonna get to watch them before they go to London?
I don't think so. If I do, it'll just be at the very end of July. I'm not sure when they leave. I mean, yeah, our focus is recruiting.
Right.
I think their team will be fine.
Yeah.
They got a little bit of talent on that team between LeBron and Durant and Darren Williams and Chris Paul. I mean, it's incredible. I think Blake Griffin's on the team. I forgot who the last two guys were.
They picked Harden and Iguodala.
I think those are great picks.
Yeah.
They're going to play small ball, but they're
Yeah.
going to be really athletic and really shoot it.
They don't need a center in international play.
It's pretty cool. Oklahoma's got 3 guys on there.
Yeah.
That's Sam Presti deserves a lot of credit.
You're the only college with 2, UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of those international teams inquire about you coaching them,
No,
like Calipari?
What do you think of what Calipari did with the Dominican team?
I think it's smart.
Yeah.
And they're recruiting.
They're one of the guys.
Antigua is Dominican.
Yeah.
His assistant who played at Pitt,
Right.
and so they're recruiting the Dominican Republic, and so that's quite a little in.
Mhm. Yeah.
You got the Cameroon connection, all right?
True.